You. Peace to all the gods and the goddesses on earth. Welcome back to Chance and Opportunity. In this video, I am going to be talking about quantum physics and specifically the observer's effect. I love quantum physics. Quantum physics is very, very important. You know, I am a student underneath of the most honorable Chief Babaji. And like I said, being a student under him, we love to base our truth in our 5 sciences that we have: astrology, biology, quantum physics, melanin, and grounding. And yes, quantum physics is definitely one of them. It is very, very important. I love quantum physics because quantum physics helps me understand the I am consciousness. Right now, there's a Christ consciousness that is upon us. This is the understanding that I am you, you are me, vibrating on different frequencies. The most honorable Babaji, Chief Babaji, he says that I am you, experiencing life through everything who I can be. And you are me, experiencing life through everything who you can be. And I love quantum physics because this helps me be able to break this down on a physical and indisputable scientific level. You know, I love to base my truth in facts, and facts cannot be argued. So, yeah, when it comes to quantum physics, this helps explains the universe. And the universe is nothing besides consciousness. So essentially, quantum physics helps us understand this consciousness, especially the observer's effect specifically. So let's get right into it, because I want to make this simple. The most honorable Chief Babaji, he says that a good teacher is one who can make something complicated and go ahead and make it simple. And only a fool is someone who takes something simple and make it complicated. In quantum physics, we're talking about a science here. This is something that is very complicated. So I'm going to make it simple so that way you guys can understand it. But basically, it goes like this. Everything is composed of atoms. I gave you guys this in almost all of my videos. Everything is composed out of atoms, the fabric of life. These atoms are composed out of 3 subatomic particles: electrons, neutrons, and protons. These subatomic particles are constantly moving. Atoms are basically like 999999999 point something empty space. Anyway, and it's almost as if like a tornado. How a tornado is, we know that a tornado is hollow, it is empty, but it's constantly moving as a spiral, so it may appear to be a solid thing to us. Let me see, when it comes to the observer's effect specifically, these scientists, they conducted an experiment. And what they did was, they took a split in the wall, a white wall, and they took like a machine that had like a split in it. And they built a machine that was able to shoot subatomic particles through the split. They wanted to observe the behavior of these subatomic particles as they were traveling through this device, go through the split, and then hit the back of the wall. So what they did was, when they made this machine, they sent these subatomic particles through the split, and thus form it did create a pattern on the back of the wall. The pattern that it created was a pattern in a wave design. They wanted to figure out why sending these particles through the split created a wave design. So what they attempted to do was, they created 2 splits. Because they thought maybe these atoms, as they were sending them through, were bouncing and repelling and doing all kinds of things. So making 2 splits would then either curve, or maybe we could see 2 patterns show up. What would happen? We don't know. So it's just an experiment. So they shot these subatomic particles through the double split. This is why we call it the double split experiment. Anyway, so they sent it through the double split. And when they sent it through the double split on the back of the wall, it still made a wave. This right here baffles scientists. So what happened was, they decided, why don't we send these subatomic particles through the split one at a time? This way they cannot bounce, they cannot repel. What would happen if we did that? This obviously was going to be a little bit more complicated, because this was going to take a long time to be sending subatomic particles one at a time. So after this long drawn out experiment of shooting these particles one at a time through the split, it still made a wave. And this baffled scientists again. They were like, yo, how is this possible? So they did the same thing, but they made the two splits this time. Sent it one at a time, still was a wave. So now they're like, yo, what the fuck? How is this? Why is this? So the only thing that they can think of to figure out why these subatomic particles are creating waves, as if, like, what is making this mysterious pattern? Like, what the fuck? What they wanted to do was, what they figured out they had to do at the time was to literally create a device that can be present and observe the subatomic particles as they came through the split and before they hit the wall, to see why it is that they are creating this pattern. So when they did this, they set the device there to observe the particles. The particles then, at the end of the experiment, created a single line on the back of the wall. They no longer acted as waves. This baffled scientists. So they rewind the footage as the particles came through. Before, they wanted to see to what point did these atoms choose to create the pattern that they were creating? What makes these atoms choose the direction and behavior that they're going to take? Why is this? Like, we have no reason for the structure. What is the basis for the patterns of these subatomic particles? This is what we're trying to figure out during this experiment. So essentially, when they rewind the footage, they seen that these single particle or these subatomic particles, they always acted as single particles. They always always was single particles, and they just formed a line. They just were contingent to the observation. So what they had determined in their experiment, after putting that observation device right there and rewinding the footage and seeing that the particles actually always acted as single particles hitting the thing. They just acted normal. It was as if these particles knew, literally, they were being watched. It was as if they knew that it was going to be a device observing them there. So they acted as single particle things, and thus created a straight line on the back of the board. The waves, before the device was observing this, the waves represented infinite possibilities. If you understand quantum physics, you understand that we live in an infinite amount of possibilities, the universe. And the observee is not separate from that. We learned that life is controlled and ruled by your observation. And I am this observation. And that this is ruled by me observing it. This whole reality. Nothing is outside of me. Everything that I see, or I think I see, is merely an expression of the internal. It's an expression of the mind. When I say internal, I mean the mind. So, I hope that this video don't go over too many heads. Y'all know I give my disclaimer. This video is not for everybody. God's only. So, yeah, peace and love. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I want to say I love myself, and I'm grateful for listening to my video. Peace to the guys on earth.
Loud Astro.